The Digital Journey on Radio Kerry, supporting digital transformation in Kerry.
Megan, thanks for joining me on the show.
Thanks so much for having us, Amber. Always delighted to be on Radio Kerry.
The Skillnet Innovation Exchange was launched last year and the RDI Hub has been the regional lead for this. Megan, will you just tell us firstly, I suppose, what the Skillnet Innovation Exchange involves?
Yes, of course, and thank you. So the Skillnet Innovation Exchange is a government-funded initiative that was started last year. As you mentioned, we've been the regional lead since March 2023, where we launched the initiative here from the RDI Hub with Minister Norma Foley. So the Skillnet Innovation Exchange is a marketplace for innovation. It is where large businesses facing digital transformation challenges are connected with innovative solutions providers such as startups, SMEs that have the talent to help those large corporates achieve their ambitions.
Fantastic. It's a really exciting programme by the sounds of things, and it's interesting to see how Irish SMEs and large multinationals can work together and boost innovation.
It is, absolutely. And the initiative really has been going from strength to strength over the last 12 months. So I suppose the benefits to the large corporate is that, you know, there will always be such a huge wealth of innovation that lies outside the four walls of a corporate business. So they have access to, you know, a countrywide network of high potential startups, SMEs and service providers that are developing innovative solutions that could potentially fast track their growth and their scaling goals. And the benefit then to the service providers and the SMEs is that they have direct access to the key decision makers and, most importantly, the budget holders within those large corporate companies, something which can always be a challenge for those smaller SMEs to access. So it's a win-win for everybody.
It certainly sounds like it is. And you mentioned digital transformation, and that's a hugely, hugely important part of life for businesses of all sizes really at the moment.
It is, absolutely. I suppose with the world we're living in at the moment, you know, if these large corporates aren't leveraging the technology that's available to them, really, they're doing themselves a disservice. You know, with the rise of Industry 4.0, there are so many innovative service providers that are developing these digital solutions that can, you know, not only, I suppose, fast track the development of new products and services, but also just to streamline the work processes that these companies have in place. So definitely we see a huge benefit to companies really putting that time and effort into looking at their work processes and seeing how they can digitally transform their businesses.
That's probably where the knowledge, I suppose, comes into it maybe, and the smaller SME could be, you know, really, really progressive and have a great knowledge in terms of digital and the online presence. But obviously the large multinational, I suppose, has a bigger backing behind them. So I suppose having the conversation between the two types of businesses as well, that's probably where the knowledge comes in and where everyone sees the benefit, I presume.
It is, of course, yeah. As you know, as I always say, this initiative really is a win-win for everybody involved. I suppose to go into a little bit of the detail of how the initiative works, we have a number of really large corporate partners on this. So we would have large multinationals such as, you know, the Ryanairs of the world. We also have the likes of Electric Ireland, ESB, Board Namona, our key kind of national corporate companies. So they would submit innovation challenges that they're facing. So they would draft their challenge. This then is relayed to the service provider network that is part of the Innovation Exchange via a webinar. So the corporate partner will come on, they will discuss the challenge that they're facing. There's a questions and answers session then at the very end, and the SMEs and the service providers then would have the opportunity to really look at how they could help to solve this challenge or lessen this challenge for the corporate company. And they have the opportunity then to pitch directly to this corporate company about the details of the solution that they could possibly provide. From then there, it's up to the corporate company to really delve deeper into these proposals that the SMEs have provided. And then at the end of it, I suppose, you know, the end game really is that deals will be done between these large corporates and these startups and SMEs. I suppose it's fast tracking the innovation for the corporate company, but it's also providing a fast track to, you know, scale and grow these incredible high potential startups that we have in this country.
It certainly is, and you touched on it there, but we do have fantastic startups here in Kerry and across the country, as you mentioned, and it can be quite daunting. You know, there are a lot of challenges to be overcome, I suppose, especially when you're starting out. And when you are starting out, you obviously don't have the expertise in every single area. So having the opportunity to bounce ideas off people who've been there before, who've done it, and who have clearly been hugely successful, that's absolutely invaluable.
It is completely, as you've just said, resources when you're a startup, even an SME, they can be limited. Not everybody has the knowledge, the skill set, the resources to put into that sort of business development or sales piece in getting into those large corporate companies and opening that conversation about how their solution could benefit that company. So this really is taking out all of those steps. It's connecting those startups with those corporate companies who can fast track their growth.
And obviously growth is hugely important, and smaller businesses and SMEs, they should have the same opportunities. Just because they're smaller, they shouldn't be excluded maybe from them. So that's kind of what this programme is all about, really, just including the smaller business and giving them the opportunities that they do deserve.
Absolutely. I mean, across Ireland, we have such an incredible ecosystem of amazing startups. I mean, some of the innovation that's taking place in Ireland it would just blow you away, and being able to provide initiatives such as the Skillnet Innovation Exchange that will give them that platform to showcase their talents, to showcase their expertise, to make those connections in those companies for them. It's just invaluable for these companies. And not only have they the opportunity, I suppose, to be connected with these large corporates, but there's a range of other supports as well that the Skillnet Innovation Exchange provide to these startups and SMEs. So, there's a number of different networking opportunities, which is incredibly important when you're at the early stage of starting your company. So networking between other SMEs and startups can be hugely beneficial to see what other people are doing around the country. We provide a range of training events as well for the SMEs and the startups, everything from PR for startups, how to market your startup. I suppose the effect of AI is a big buzzword at the moment. There'll be a lot of activity around AI over the coming 12 months. So there's all of those training programs as well provided. So it's not simply just connecting with those large corporates. There's a whole suite of supports that the Skillnet Innovation Exchange provide these companies.
That's fantastic to hear. And Megan, I suppose before the Skillnet Innovation Exchange was launched, what kind of barriers were there for SMEs who wanted to engage maybe with corporate or with government? And have you noticed that since the programme has been launched that these barriers are starting to break down more and more?
Absolutely, we have. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you're taking out a whole pile of steps. I suppose being a small company, it's all down to resources, and it's all down to the skill set that you have as that small company. If you think your solution is going to be of huge benefit to the likes of Ryanair, it can be very daunting to even begin to think, well, how do I get in there? Who do I speak to? There's so many different departments, so many different budget holders and decision makers within Ryanair. Where do you even begin to kind of get in the door there? So this really is taking out all of that work. It's putting you directly into contact with that key decision maker. And it's providing, essentially, it's filling a pipeline for these SMEs without the need for them to have a dedicated sales or business development resource in their company. So we've definitely seen that the Innovation Exchange is just breaking down those barriers between the corporate companies and the SMEs. And there's huge amounts of activity after taking place in 2023, with a lot more to come in 2024. One of the big areas of focus now for 2024 will be the whole area of sports and the innovation in sports. So that's really, really exciting. There's a lot going on in that region. So we're really looking forward to a busy year of 2024 and breaking down more barriers for these startups. And as you know, RDI Hub, we work very closely with a lot of startups and scale-ups in the Southwest region. We're very, very passionate about it. So Skillnet Innovation Exchange, we feel it's very close to our hearts. We feel that's of huge benefit to the Southwest region and all of the incredible companies that we have here.
It sounds absolutely fantastic, Megan. If there's a company listening that feels that, this is for them, can they still get involved?
Absolutely, they can. It's really, really easy to get involved. So if you're a corporate company and you hear this, I suppose just to be aware that there is no financial investment required on the part of a corporate company. The only investment that's required is time, and that would be the time to map out your challenge and present your challenge to the SMEs, and then to go through the responses that are received from the SMEs. But on that as well, Skillnet Innovation Exchange will help you to review all of the proposals that you receive, and they'll help you to whittle that down to a short list. If you're an SME or a startup listening to this, absolutely. We're always looking to onboard new promising startups to the programme. There is a nominal cost of €250 per year to be involved as part of this programme. So for that, you can submit as many responses to challenges as you like. All of our networking and training events as well are included in that fee for the year. If people are looking to get involved, they can feel free to reach out to me directly. So it's Megan Daly Tyrrell, and I'm the Business Development Manager for RDI Hub. They can reach out to me directly here at the RDI Hub, or I'm always good on LinkedIn as well. The website as well is theinnovationexchange.ie. So if they wanted to learn more about the programme or see the kind of challenges and deals that have been done over the last year, that's a really good source as well for all of that information.
And Megan, there's an event taking place next Tuesday, which is the 27th of February, and it's taking place in the RDI Hub. Can you tell us what that event will involve?
Yes, absolutely. So it is taking place from 2 p.m. to about 4 p.m. next Tuesday, the 27th of February. On the day, I suppose this will be marking our 1-year anniversary as being the regional lead for the Southwest for the Skillnet Innovation Exchange. So we will have the Skillnet Innovation Exchange team down on the day. They'll give an overview of the activity, the challenges and the deals done in 2023, and give a little bit of insight into the plans that are in place for 2024 and some of the exciting updates that we have around the plans. We will also have one of our local corporate partners, Liebherr Container Cranes, who would have submitted a corporate challenge in 2023, speak about their experience of the process of submitting the challenge and the calibre of responses that they received. And as well as that, we have a number of SMEs who are already leveraging the platform to fill their sales pipeline with us on the day, and they will also be giving their experience of the various events, training events, and I suppose the submission of responses for challenges as well. So it'll be a really, really good opportunity to get a good overview of what the platform could do for you, as well as to speak to, key contacts, the likes of myself or the Skillnet Innovation Exchange team, if people do have any further questions. The event is free to attend as well. Places will be limited, so I would encourage people to reach out if they'd like to secure their spot.
And I was just going to ask you, Megan, is there a link to register or anything like that, or how do they show their interest?
There is indeed. So they can reach out to me directly, and I would be more than happy to register them for the event, or they can feel free to log on to the RDI Hub LinkedIn page, where we will have further information about the event taking place up there as well.
That's fantastic. It sounds like it'll be a great event and very worthwhile attending. You mentioned it's going to be an exciting year for Skillnet Innovation Exchange. Lots happening with a particular focus on sport. So it sounds very interesting. Great to see that there's so much happening.
Yes, it is. We have an exciting year ahead, lots of activity, a number of different events, and we have some really, really interesting corporate challenges coming down the line as well. So there's a lot of excitement around what's going to happen for 2024.
That's great to hear. Megan, thanks a million for joining me on the show. It's been lovely speaking with you.
A pleasure as always, Amber. Thank you so much for having us.
The Digital Journey, brought to you by Radio Kerry and the RDI Hub in Killorglin, funded by Commission na Man with the television licence fee.